and I were really attracted to each other, but familiarity can breed contempt. So we didn't act on it. Too bad. Because based on how much we ended up hating each other, the sex would have been incredible.
In Hollywood, legends tend to be remembered for their charm, their presence on screen, and the indelible characters they created. Bruce Willis, the man who made Die Hard's John McClane a cultural icon, fits that bill comfortably. He was charming, rough around the edges, and quick-witted, a star who had a career that lasted decades and left an indelible imprint on cinema. But lift the veil of stardom and box office success, and the tale is not always one of harmonious partnerships. For others among the co-stars and directors, working with Bruce Willis was neither the exciting experience the public might think. It was rather a ride of tension, ego conflicts, and disagreements that created bruised egos and broken friendships. From blazing conflicts on television screens to innovative wars off-screen, Willis's career is dotted with feuds that are still being discussed today. Some were fleeting flares, others continued for decades, and others softened only after Willis retired from acting due to aphasia. Below are 6 of the most notorious spats involving Bruce Willis and the complicated, intriguing backstories behind them. 1. Sybil Shepherd. During the mid-1980s, moonlighting was not only a television show, but a cultural phenomenon. The sharp writing, the cracking chemistry, and the will-they-won't-they romantic tension between Maddie Hayes captured audiences in its grip. People swooned over their exchanges and laughed at their exchanges. Off-screen, however, reality was not so dreamy. When Willis came into audition, Shepherd revealed she got an undeniable jolt. She once confessed, "My temperature went up 10 degrees. Their chemistry was apparent, but they both knew that doing anything about it would be a catastrophe. That tension, bubbling just below the surface, might have sustained the on-screen chemistry, but it sparked one of TV's most infamous feuds. As co-star Curtis Armstrong has indicated, a brief and unfortunate collision between the two near the beginning of the show poisoned their working relationship. Whatever chemistry they experienced soon turned to outright hostility. Early on, it was coping. Willis was still a novice actor, just happy to have the job. Shepherd, a seasoned Hollywood player, was happy to see her career get a boost. But when Willis became a superstar following Die Hard, he became frustrated with television's pace. Long workdays and script-heavy dialogue took its toll on both stars, and Shepherd's pregnancy only created more stress. Production staffs remembered having to rewrite production schedules, and Willis allegedly complained about the added effort. The set was a war zone. Rumors went around of Shepherd insisting on firings, Willis walking off set, and even objects tossed about in anger. There was a time editors supposedly slowed down footage just to make it look like the two were gazing at one another, as by this point they would not even look at each other. Even years afterward, the venom had not dissipated. At the 2018 Comedy Central roast of Bruce Willis, Shepherd joked, "He played an a-hole, which he is." The audience laughed, but the joke was based on decades of dislike. And yet, when the diagnosis of Willis's aphasia was made public by his family in 2022, Shepherd mellowed. She described him as irreplaceable and confessed, "I will always love Bruce." Their rivalry might never have been fully resolved, but time and circumstance turned venom into a complicated sort of respect. 2. Kevin Smith. Few rivalries better convey the agony of meeting your idols than the rivalry between indie filmmaker Kevin Smith and Bruce Willis. Smith, known for Clerks and Chasing Amy, grew up idolizing Willis in Moonlighting and Die Hard. When he got the chance to direct Willis in the buddy cop comedy Cop Out, 2010, it felt like a dream come true. But instead of creative fireworks, the collaboration turned into one of the most soul-crushing experiences of Smith's career. Smith initially treated Willis with reverence. He confesses that he was like a child again working with his boyhood idol. But Willis, according to Smith, was distant. He pushed back at direction, gave less than full enthusiasm, and even outright rejected Smith. When the director made him some notes, Willis allegedly snapped, "I've been acting like Bruce Willis for 25 years. Do you really think you're going to tell me something I don't already know?" The conflict mounted. Willis avoided photo shoots, skipped promotional outings, and didn't even show up for the wrap party. Smith became so exasperated that he asked the crew, "I want to thank everyone who worked on the film, except Bruce Willis." Years afterward, Smith looked back with uncompromising candor. "I met true darkness in Bruce Willis." Willis, on his part, brushed aside the feud, describing Smith as a winner and attributing their problems to conflicting work approaches. But Smith was disappointed. On a deeper level, he had lost a hero. Nevertheless, in 2022, upon hearing of Willis's illness, Smith made a public apology, acknowledging that his grievances seemed trivial in retrospect. It was no reconciliation, but it was an isolated moment of magnanimity between two men whose working relationship had ended calamitously. 3. Sylvester Stallone. Action heroes Sylvester Stallone and Bruce Willis were meant to be buddies. Both had carried around blockbuster franchises, both were Hollywood stand-ins for toughness, and both were paired together in Expendables, Stallone's action fanboy love letter. But by the third installment, the partnership broke down. Willis allegedly insisted on more pay, $4 million for 4 days' work. Stallone refused, and negotiations fell apart. What ensued was astonishingly public. Stallone posted on Twitter, "Greedy and lazy, a sure formula for career failure." Fans were shocked to witness one legend trash the other publicly. To Stallone, Willis's refusal wasn't just about money, it felt like betrayal. The Expendables was meant to be about loyalty and legacy, and Willis's departure cut against that spirit. Willis, meanwhile, saw it as business. Pay disputes are common in Hollywood, and he resented Stallone's decision to air their conflict publicly. With time, the flames died down. Stallone conceded to having regretted his utterances, terming them as spontaneous. Though the two never renewed their camaraderie, they made enough peace to go their different ways. When Willis retired, Stallone expressed sympathy and empathy towards him, an indication that even shattered brotherhoods can turn soft in the wake of tougher realities in life. 4. Michael Bay. When Michael Bay hired Bruce Willis for Armageddon in 1998, it looked like the ideal match. Bay was Hollywood's king of spectacle, and Willis was Hollywood's go-to-action star. Together, they brought the world a worldwide blockbuster. Beneath the surface, though, there were creative tensions percolating. Willis subsequently griped that the movie was too flashy, too MTV cutty, and that substantial character scenes had been given up for Bay's passion for explosives and rapid cuts. He grieved that the emotional core of the movie was sacrificed on the cutting room floor. Bay, however, complimented Willis's enthusiasm, but noted he was tough at first. Their philosophies just didn't converge. Willis prized emotional richness. Bay felt audiences appeared for thrills. They never collaborated again. But when Willis quit, Bay spoke fondly of him, complimenting his sense of humor and direction. Their split was less a matter of personal disdain and more about conflicting creative visions, an inevitable clash of substance and spectacle. 5. Antoine Fuqua. Director Antoine Fuqua and Bruce Willis collaborated on Tears of the Sun 2003, a hard-hitting war movie in Nigeria. On paper, it was a Hollywood marriage made in heaven, a critically acclaimed director on the strength of Training Day, and a seasoned action man with international box office clout. But Fuqua later confessed starkly, "Bruce Willis, pain in my ass." They were fine off-camera, according to Fuqua, but when the cameras rolled, sparks flew, the wrong kind. They had conflicting work styles. Willis was accustomed to molding his performances, while Fuqua had a clear vision for the film. Neither man would yield, and tension spread to the production. To add insult to injury, Willis was hurt on set when he was hit in the head by a projectile during an explosion scene. He subsequently sued the studio, introducing legal drama into an already fraught working relationship. Fuqua maintained the issue wasn't about personal animosity, we just didn't gel. And indeed, neither man took the rivalry into their own lives. But they never collaborated again, a testament to the fact that not every creative pairing is meant to coexist. 6. Lala Kent. Unlike Stallone, Bay, or Shepard, actress Lala Kent wasn't a Hollywood big shot who was at odds with Willis over ego or finances. She was a young co-star in the budget action thriller Hard Kill 2020. She wasn't worried about attitude, she was worried about safety. Kent remembered times that Willis flubbed cues in action sequences, such as one involving a gun. She acknowledged it made her uncomfortable, having no idea what was going on. No one openly knew why Willis was off at the time. 2 years afterward, his aphasia diagnosis confirmed the sorrowful reality. The warning signs had all been there. Kent's comments were never vengeful. They were insights of an artist suffering in silence, with an affliction already taking its toll on his work. Her ordeal was not exactly a feud in the classical sense. Rather, it was a poignant peek into the last act of Willis's career, during which puzzlement and indecision supplanted the effortless confidence that had long characterized him. Bruce Willis shall always be remembered as one of Hollywood's defining actors, a man whose smirk and swagger made him indelible. Yet his career was also defined by confrontation, ego conflicts, and artistic disagreements that expose a more nuanced reality. From Sybil Shepherd's fabled Moonlighting Wars to Kevin Smith's broken hero adoration, from Stallone's onstage tantrum to Michael Bay's artistic blowout, from Antoine Fuqua's direct honesty to Lala Kent's subtle worry, every tale contributes another brushstroke to the painting of Willis, not merely as a legend, but as a living, breathing human being coping with the demands of fame. There were grudges that spanned decades, ones that dissipated with the passage of time, and some that turned into compassion when disease recontextualized the man behind the myth. Hollywood adores hearing tales of hero and villain. But with Bruce Willis, the reality is somewhere in the middle, a phenomenal actor who captivated millions, yet left a trail of tension that reminds us even our greatest celebrities are deeply, imperfectly human. From fiery public rebukes to subtle on-set conflicts, these 6 names, Sybil Shepherd, Kevin Smith, Sylvester Stallone, Michael Bay, Antoine Fuqua, and Lala Kent, create an intricate picture of Bruce Willis's Hollywood career. There were some who disagreed with him over cash or artistic direction, others over work ethic or direction of film, and in one instance, worries about his health are precursors to a much greater reality. Together, their stories reveal that even the most legendary careers can be shadowed by conflict, misunderstanding, and moments of deep disconnect. Which of these feuds surprised you the most? And whose side do you find yourself on? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's most untold rivalries and behind-the-scenes showdowns of its largest stars. From public spats to on-set tensions, these 6 monikers, Sybil Shepherd, Kevin Smith, Sylvester Stallone, Michael Bay, Antoine Fuqua, and Lala Kent, describe a complex picture of Bruce Willis's Hollywood career. Some disagreed with him about money or artistic vision, others about work ethic or approach to filmmaking, and in one instance, worries about his health prefigured a far greater truth. Collectively, their tales bring to light that even the greatest mythic careers can be darkened by discord, misperception, and instances of profound disconnection. Which one of these rivalries shocked you the most? And whose team are you rooting for? Leave your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more in-depth looks into the secret feuds and behind-the-scenes wars of Hollywood's biggest celebrities.